It seems that 8K is all the rage at the minute. Everybody's wanting to shoot 8K. There's phones coming that shoot in 8K, there's TVs that are 8K, and even Canon just released a new camera that shoots in 8K. Now we all know that there is a difference between 1080, 4K and 8K, but is it noticeable? Can the human eye actually see the difference? And that's what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to be seeing whether or not you can notice the difference between 1080, 4K and 8K. Now first off, a little information about 8K, 4K and 1080. 8K is 16 times higher resolution than 1080 and 4 times higher resolution than 4K. Now with that information, you'd expect 8K to be crystal clear, like the Bahamas Sea kind of clear. Now technically Canon's EOS R can shoot 8K because that has 33 megapixels, but these tests were shot on Canon's EOS R5 that shoots in 8K RAW. Now the test that you're going to see is 1080 all eye, 4K all eye and 8K all eye. So there's going to be no difference other than the resolution. So let's take a look at some clips and see whether or not you can tell if it's in 8K, 4K or 1080. Now what I want you to do is I want you to go down into the comments and comment what you think each piece of footage is. 3, 2, 1... Now obviously when things are moving it's harder to tell the difference, but when we switch to this locked off stationary shot it's much easier to tell the difference. Now let's look at the 1080, 4K and 8K in a locked off. Now personally in this locked off shot the most noticeable difference for me is the on off switch on the top right. In the 8K it is extremely sharp, the 4K it's sharp and the 1080 just looks a little bit mushy. But this is a stationary shot and we are looking to compare it. Now if we was just looking at this as just regular footage or just watching it unknowingly that it was 1080p, would you even pick up on the fact that it's 8K? Let's say you watched a movie on Netflix that says it has 4K capability. Now you watch that whole movie in 1080p and go and tell your friends about how good the movie looked, when really you didn't watch it in 4K, you watched it in 1080. Because in movies and in videos in general, things are moving, it's harder to tell and you're not looking for it. Now something else to take into consideration is that how well lit is the image, because a bright image will be a lot sharper than a dark image. So if you shot a really bright 1080p image and then shot a really dark 8K image, the 1080p image is going to be better because it's brighter, because brighter pixels equals sharper pixels. So a lot of it can even come down to how well exposed the image is. So the next point is, do we even need 8K? Is there a reason to go any more than 8K? Personally, I think 8K is more for post-production. So if we film an interview or we film a product video or something like that, it means in post-production we can actually crop into the image, so it's almost like having two separate angles. Now because you cropped in on an 8K image, it means that the quality of the image is going to be far better when cropped in than it would be if you was to crop in on a 4K or 1080p image. So let's take a look at a 200% increase on the 8K compared to the 4K at standard. So if you're happy with a 4K image, imagine how happy you're going to be with an 8K image. Now I think the sweet spot in all three of these resolutions is the 4K. It's just enough of a difference from 1080p that it's worth it, whereas 8K is from 4K not, it's probably too good. Now this is going to sound a bit stupid, but bear with me. The 8K might actually be too good quality to notice over the 4K. And this is why I think 4K is the sweet spot. I film all these videos in 4K, I never shoot anything in 8K because personally it's too hard of a file to work with, but disregarding that, there's not really that much of a difference. And I'm not cropping into the image all the time, so why would I need to shoot in 8K? But that's just my opinion on it. I like 4K, I like where I'm at. I do have an 8K TV though, so did I just contradict myself? 1080p 4K, 8K, does it matter? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Do we need 8K? Do you like 4K? And could you live with 1080? Like, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff you already love to do. I will see you in the next one. Sithy.